Alright, another response video to nihilists. Yeah, another nihilist found, yes. Doesn't call himself one, of course, which also doesn't make any sense. So apparently nihilists believe there's some kind of other kind of nihilist that's more nihilist than the nihilist. That is to say, I would argue if you're a value relativist, you're a nihilist, or a subjectivist, that's the word they use. Value is subjective. Because you're basically saying there's no truth on the subject, there's just this whatever crap you feel thing. So if you feel the universe a certain way, that's what the universe is. It has nothing to do with thinking. Yeah. Yeah, so if you have an emotion, the emotion's flavor tells you it's whatever. They're tasting the universe rather than describing the universe. So instead of seeing the color red, they're licking things and saying, does it taste like something? Instead of describing what it is, a frequency, that kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah, so I'll play this bit of a Brett Keane, and I think he comments on it twice, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if the timestamp is exactly correct. So what I'm saying is that I don't think you can define a nihilist as something other than a value nihilist. One who says there's no value truth. There's just stories we make up, and you can say whatever story you want, all stories are valid, blah 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 blah, which I think is just the most illogical rubbish I could imagine. Because I could never imagine that people did this. I mean, I didn't hear this word until I was well past 30, in a sense. And, anyway, something other than some kind of psychotic disease. And, I just didn't think anybody who was a literate person could be a nihilist. It's nonsensical to know there are feeling things in the world and then to say, I can pretend they don't feel. I can pretend that the experience of torture isn't bad in and of itself. That if I put a tortured being in isolation somewhere, that there could ever possibly be, that is, it doesn't do anything else, it just suffers. It doesn't fix some other problem somewhere. That somebody couldn't say, there's absolutely no reason, no way to rationally come up with a scenario, a rational scenario, a real scenario, one of real evidence, to say that's good, that's adequate, or that's alright, we can just leave that alone. Torture is fine. It's nonsensical, it's just idiotic. And when people who aren't idiots do it, you have to say, why are they doing that? Why does somebody who's not an idiot think it's would be okay if somebody had the opinion that because I don't care about it, like Hitler didn't care about the Jews or something, that I can torture them and it's all okay? And that's not stupid. It's not fundamentally too retarded. Yeah. Why are they doing it? I guess there must be some kind of self-interested reason. That would be it, yes. So that's sort of what a nihilist is, just somebody selfish enough to say, I'm going to fuck rationality hard until it's dead for my own advantage. Which makes them a shithead. So, unfortunately, Paul's got a little bit, at least a little bit, of shit for brains. Yeah.
GodTVRadio.com. I am here with...
Eek. Yeah, the video's doing that little spinny thing. I don't really like that much. Come on, start over, I guess. Oh, they'll probably have a commercial. Oh, fuck.
So under the category of don't try this at home,
Oh,
I
fuck
own
you.
3 stocks.
Who cares? Fucking cunt. Rich bastards. I think it's going to probably have some kind of, check out A Little Dirty. If anyone wants to clean up the audio, send it back. PaulsEgo power. Blah, 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 blah.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my website, GodTVRadio.com. I am here with PaulsEgo. Make sure that you go to his channel and subscribe to him, comment, and rate. He also
What I disagree with anti-theist comes to some agreement going forward that these fantasies are not reality.
flips, right?
I have flipped past it.
It's the best of DP is our clips channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The first couple questions.
I mean, what it appears this DP thing is the four nihilists, though. I mean, Scotty's obviously a complete ass. He's stupid, so you figure, yeah, okay, that nihilist I can understand. He's just an asshole. I don't know the other guy, but obviously it's just four nihilists looking at the world. So four people who don't understand that there's anything really important at stake. They all think it's just whether or not I care. Yeah, well, bullshit. So, yeah, it's just superficial. SpongeBob isn't even that stupid.
Questions are going to be more based upon, like, religious questions.
Yeah, who cares, Brett?
Sure.
Okay. Would you say that you are nihilistic or anti-theist?
I can definitely say I'm not nihilistic.
Okay, so you're not nihilistic, but you're a value subjectivist. So I just don't understand how that works. So maybe you could explain. Maybe somebody could explain to me how value subjectivism, unless you claim, well, value's too complicated, we can't identify it. Yes, it probably exists as a real thing in the world, but we can't identify what it is, so we'll just have to go based on our personal opinions. Now, if you could say that, yes, the truth is too elusive, we can't figure out that it's wrong to torture Jews or all that kind of crap, so we'll just have to leave it up to the individual to decide whether they're going to be a creep or not, or an asshole, or whether they're going to cause harm and destruction to the welfare of feeling creatures, because, you know, we can't figure out that that's somehow important. Now, if you want to admit that you think it's too complicated to figure out the basic mechanism of your own gratification, which is you really like having good feelings and you really don't like having bad feelings, and well, you have two categories of feelings: whether you feel good when somebody does something commonly experienced as bad to you. It doesn't matter. What makes you feel good or what makes you feel bad is irrelevant. The point is you know what a bad feeling is and you know what a good feeling is. And it's just kind of shitty stupid to tell me somehow it doesn't matter. But see, I'm conscious and I can tell the difference between the two sensations. And I know I just have no use at all for, like, migraine headaches and shit and, you know, shooting pain through my spine and all that kind of crap. I know that's bad shit. That if I put that in a bottle and sat it over there and it just screamed back pain, I'm in pain, I'm in pain, I would know it's a bad thing. I don't need to care about it. I just know it's bad. I mean, come on, this is just such bullshit. But how can you call it? I'm not nihilistic. Like, he's not even in the category of nihilistic even. And he's going to say I'm a value subjectivist. I mean, how can you say that's not even nihilistic? Of course it's nihilistic.
I have this cute little thing that I say that I don't care enough to be a nihilist.
There, I don't care enough to be a nihilist. Now, that's cute. Okay, let me figure out how that's cute. I don't care, so that means I don't personally have many emotions about anything in particular. So, I couldn't even care enough to make a distinction. So if there was something called real value, I don't even care if I get it right. I'm so personally obsessed and so personally selfish that even if I do have my worldview is completely wrong, I don't even care to figure it out. I don't even care to know. Wow, that's impressively cute. Oh, that's so fucking cute. I hope you get what people of that cute temperament deserve. That's just shit.
So I know that definitely I can say I'm not nihilistic.
Oh, there, he said it again. Definitely I can say I'm not nihilistic, but I think it's all subjective and I couldn't give a fuck one way or the other. I'm so goddamn self-absorbed that I don't even know if there is a truth. I don't want to hear about it. Oh, that's not nihilistic.
anti-theist, that's a different ball of wax. I never really liked labeling myself as an anti-theist, but I do agree with some of the premises of anti-theism and
yeah, whatever. And then he goes on to say he's one of these whatever agnostic atheists because he can't figure out it's a fable. He can't figure out that every religion is just a fucking story. It has nothing to do with any kind of evidence ever. It's always just human beings and grandizing their little fish stories. It's always traceable to complete and absolute bullshit. And so, again, if he's going to be agnostic on this, then he has to be agnostic on the subject of 5 million winged dragons that not only breathe fire but shoot ice out of their eyes, and they shit Godzillas all over the universe. So he's agnostic on the existence of the Godzilla shitting 8 million winged fire and ice shooting dragon. Fuck you are. I mean, it's just such pussy bullshit. I mean, the intellectual dishonesty is just reeks here. It just reeks, Paul. I mean, I like Paul. Paul used to come into my room. You know, nice guy. But this is bullshit. So yes, obviously the new PaulsEgo is a much smaller brained creature.
I'm comforted by the idea that there's nothing for me to do after I'm done. When I die, I won't even know it's over.
Yes.
That's kind of a beautiful thing to me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
All right, I'm going to stop it.
Very exciting, Brett.
If there is no God, can we just do what we want?
Can we? Yes.
Right. So, so this is the kind of question where obviously you would say, I don't mean can you physically just do whatever you want. I mean, you know, can I smash Jews in the head with a ball-peen hammer all day? Is that okay with God? I mean, that was sort of the question. But let's say there's no God, so does that mean it's okay to go and smash things in the brain with a hammer? That's the real question. And instead he's just answering, well, yes, you have an arm and you can buy a hammer at you know, Home Depot for like $5. So yes, go have at it. So another intellectual evasion. I'm going to pretend I don't understand the real meaning of the question, which is, do you really think it's possible to do that without being a motherfucking destructive, negative influence in the universe? Like you will be in the big book of the universe, if it was ever to be written, in the final book of the universe, you would be identified as piece of shit. Harm-causing, negative thing that should have been eradicated in its, you know, primordial form. Bullshit. This is just such bullshit, Paul.
Should we? Probably not.
Okay, so now he said probably not, so at least he has some indication that, hey, wait a minute, maybe this isn't all subjective. Okay, yeah, maybe there are some over, you know, we could all agree that a reasonable dissection of reality where there aren't 800 million winged dragons, where we're actually going to deal with what we know to be facts, that no, you can't just do anything because some things are really, really negative value condition causing.
But should is one of those tricky words, right? What should a person do with their own life?
Yes, with their own life and their own ability to shove their fist in somebody's face. So again, this isn't about your own life ever. There's nothing about living that has anything to do with you and your own life. Everything you do leaks into the rest of the universe. You're a thing making noise and oozing gases and clearly pushing your matter through the other matter. You're not just some nothing. Okay, it's like calling a worm what does the worm do with its own life, the tapeworm? What does the tapeworm do with its own life? I mean, it's just a stupid thing not to recognize that you are parasiting all over the place, and other shit's parasiting on you, and that's the way this game is played. And it's just silly to say, I have my own life, and I'm living on island my own life. And it really, those kind of questions about what other people should do doesn't have anything to do with anything I ever worry about, because they can't get to me. I have a locked door. I mean, this is just more selfish country. Let's find excuses to just be selfish assholes and say, what do I want? What, I'm important. I'm so important. You're just all fucking magic snowflakes sitting there saying, what's in my interest? What do I want? You know, what's convenient to me? I don't want to hear about anybody else's problems because, you know, it's all about me. It's all about me. Yeah. Fuck you, Paul.
I tend to draw the line where most people draw the line at impinging on another person's property or life or physical well-being, you know.
But again, wouldn't that be, like, it's way too vague, right? I mean, another person, like, does that mean you don't want to impinge on rapists and put them in prison? I mean, again, this doesn't go anywhere. This doesn't have anything to do with getting to the heart of the matter, which I think is really easy to understand. Is that you have a personal welfare, and this just comes down to you have obvious, you know what a violation is, and all you have to say, you know, is you've violated the welfare, the quality of the life of some other individual. You've parasited, you've sucked value, experience out of their life for no reason. Not because they're a criminal, but because you were selfish. That kind of thing. You could have narrowed this down a little bit better.
Like that kind of social division. But this idea that...
He has that funny laugh now, which I really don't. That's just another new addition. I really... But see, it's nice. It's nice that Paul's happier, so he... he does this more. But he doesn't know how to laugh. I guess he never... You know, he never had much of an external, hey, I thought that was funny and I enjoyed it, personality, because I never remember that.
We can't do anything that we want with our lives is not one I subscribe to.
Okay, so we can't do anything we want with our lives is not something he describes to. So, again, if somebody wants to steal from the poor, or he wants to exploit children, or he wants to molest them, or he wants to do this, then it's okay for him to contrive reasons to do it and connive methods to do it. And Paul's basically saying, yes, go for it. Okay, if you have some perversion that makes you really need to, you know, get off sexually exploiting kids or raping them or even murdering them, well, look, you should go try to find your bliss. You shouldn't realize, damn, I have some life needs that are just too excessive, and I can't live my life that way because, you know, there's a value equation, and the obvious value equation is I'm causing way too much harm to justify my fucking existence. But none of these guys want to ever do that analysis, okay? They're scared to death to do an actual practical analysis of whether they have left the consciousness condo a bigger mess, okay, than they got it, so to speak. That they have just been a menace, you know, with their self-indulgence.
You are perfectly welcome.
That is a weird little psychotic laugh, I gotta say. I think Paul getting better might not be better. Yeah. Alright, well, you're perfectly welcome. Let me go back just because, you know, I'll give him a fair speech.
We can't do anything that we want with our lives is not one I subscribe to. You are perfectly welcome to be Brett Keane. Now...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, see, you're perfectly welcome to be Brett Keane. That would mean you could be do all kinds of things that are fundamentally negative to society, cultural expectations. So you could be a troll, and you can be malicious, you can cause waste, You know, I mean, there's this idea of waste, Paul, that, you know, wherever it is, okay, it means you've just sacrificed something valuable. Waste is like a fire, and it just burns stuff away. You know, like, so there's houses, and the houses burn away, and now we've lost the value of those houses. People can't live in them, can't have the comfort of them. Waste it just kills value. It just means people die of diseases because there's no resources to cure them. It's just that bad. It's a horrible thing. And so when there's big fat waste engines, why would you say you can go ahead and be a waste engine? You can go ahead and cause more harm in the world than good, and that's okay. That, in my opinion, is just an irrational evasion of your human responsibility to recognize that it's not okay. You have intelligence, and where's evidence of you applying it here except to evade the truth rather than to respect the truth?
Oh, I may not agree with Brett Keane, but...
Alright, so the same thing as saying I may not agree with Adolf Hitler, but, you know, he's into that thing. I mean, I may not agree with Mengele's interpretation of a valuable experiment, but he's entitled to think it's okay to, you know, see if human beings can, you know, still drink water after I smash them against a brick wall 33 times.
Anybody that argues to me that you don't have the right to be Brett Keane is going to find themselves wrong.
So again, he's using this metaphor of a Brett Keane rather than the other typical humans, which might be a pedophile or a psychotic, you know, beats women or some other thing. And he's just basically saying anybody who tells you what you feel isn't really important and that you shouldn't go for what you want is being a poo-poo. No, you're the poo, buddy.
End of the argument with me.
Yeah, well, yes, I'm arguing with you. I'm basically saying you can't be this fucking stupid. Not to say, wait a minute, if I really look, close my eyes for just a minute, 160 seconds, close your eyes for 60 fucking seconds, and tell me that you can't figure out that the real value thing that's happening inside of yourself, the one that's really screaming loud and clear, is this thing that creates things like joy and terror, and you know, pain, and ooh, whatever that is. Ooh, that was good. You can't see that. You can't see that. Oh yeah, that's really the root of everything. Really comes just down to that kind of shit. And it'd be really cool if shitty stuff made me feel good, but it doesn't. But it would be really cool, right, if everything made me feel good. But yeah, it makes me feel bad for a reason, and that is it gets associated with things that are bad for me. I understand that they're bad for my mommy, and then I understand they're bad for my daddy and all of that kind of shit. And then when you're really smart, you figure out, oh, it's not really about my mommy and my daddy. It's just about the fact that there are other feeling things on earth, and they're doing the same thing you're doing, having feelings. And it would really suck if they're having all bad feelings. And it would really, really suck if they're having all bad feelings because you're a selfish cunt and have hired people to torture them and then kill them so you can eat them. That would make you a real piece of shit. You can't logically do that? Well, you know, assholes think alike, I guess, or something.
Now, that's the way I feel about pretty much anybody. I don't like it when people step over the line and hurt other people's lives.
I don't like it, but it's certainly I can't make a judgment because I can't figure out that causing harm for silly reasons, like you got drunk and you decided to drink and drive and you harmed people and put them in wheelchairs or something. I can't pass a judgment. I mean, that's, you know, it's your right, you know. I think it's terrible to pass laws against things like they're wrong. Ugh.
Especially physically taking things, stealing property from people. I mean, these are all societal norms that I think have a place.
Right. Well, we know that societal norms have changed over time as we start to realize we're assholes, right? So we figure out, oh man, that slavery thing is, ooh, ooh, is there some way we could sweep that one under the rug? Because, boy, that was a stinker. And then we started figuring out, like, dog fights and cockfights and other kinds of grotesque animal exploitation. Oh, fuck, that's disgusting. And then people go out to shoot things for the fun of it. Well, we didn't make it illegal, but, you know, we reduced it. But now all the rich people do it. Like the Trumps. The Trumps go out on family shoots, you know, go blow away the little creatures. Well, one of the Trumps, anyway. Disgusting little creepy fucking bastards. Anyway, should be hunted. I should give squirrels guns. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, so you can't figure out that there's this idea of the efficiency of a life, because there's all these value engines. That's what I call them, Paul. I know. You know, maybe you just can't relate to that, but we as consciousnesses are essentially a value engine. When we're in horrible pain, we're producing badness, and when we're comfortable, we're producing goodness. See, that doesn't resonate with you, probably.
In human society. But...
Oh, so I was getting to the point that we've obviously evolved to come up with these all simple, I think, understandings. And I would argue to you, you know, if you were a little bit intelligent, you could sort of see the writing on the wall that we still got some evolving to do. That, you know, we still haven't quite got it right. You know, that it's not just about skin color, but it might be about speciesism. And we might realize that what really defines the value of a creature, a living thing, is whether or not it feels and how much it feels. Yeah. And you might realize that you're just a despicable hypocrite to pet your little dog, your little pet rat or whatever it is, your little, I don't know, penis augmentation fluffiness. Hey, look, it's cute. I'm not so cute, but it's cute. Some kind of bullshit like that. But yeah, maybe you're just manipulating the dog. Or maybe it's just a service animal. You know, who knows? But not to be able to see the glaring hypocrisy of taking that brain and saying, that brain is important. But that pig's brain, fuck it in the ass until dead. Why? For any other reason than you're a selfish cunt, and then you're going to veil it in some sort of, I'm a libertarian, I love the freedom thing, I think it's really so great, I'm a pro-choice freedom guy. You know, because that resonates with the selfish cunts, all you fucking, you fucking pseudo-intellectuals are. You really don't give a fuck about the truth. You'll slaughter it on the altar of your stomach. The god of my stomach.
Can't steal? That's bullshit. You can. This idea that you can't rape? Well, I mean, there are societal consequences, but you can.
Right, so you can in the sense that, yes, it's perfectly ethical. Without God, I can't know that rape is fundamentally wrong. It's a violation. It's a harm causer. There's like only 1 in 100,000 chance, or let's just make it 1 in 1,000. There's only a 1 in 1,000 chance that the woman's going to enjoy being beaten and shit on. Now, if you just want to have some sex without permission and do a little raping, well, okay, maybe there's a 1 in 500 chance, or a little better, that she might even like it. But we know that most rapists are not, you know, Prince Charming. You know, most of them. And so we know that maybe she's not going to like it, because he's not going to care whether she's excited or any of that kind of crap, and it's not going to be an enjoyable experience. And so you're not smart enough to say, no, you can't do that because it's ethically wrong. It not only violates a social contract that we can all figure out, but it's also wrong because it's causing harm. It's causing negative experiences to the woman, and it might even ruin her life, and it might even cause her to commit suicide. And yet you can't just say, no, that's going to be wrong. Whether there's a God or not, I can understand that raping women is wrong. You can't say that, you stupid fuck. Get what you deserve, like raped and shit.
You know, I guess I just kind of balk at the idea that people need a god to stop them from doing those things.
Yes, no, they don't need a god. That wasn't the question. The question was, without a god, can they figure out the Ten Commandments on their own? Can they figure out the Golden Rule on their own, or do they need a god to scare them into doing it? That was really the root of the question. And obviously, Brett Green's right. You need a God, because without God, you can't figure it out. You can't figure out the Golden Rule. You can't figure out the Ten Commandments. You can't figure out the more extensive, going the step further of saying, gee, I won't be a bigot. I won't think my dog's better than every dog on earth. I won't think my child's better than every child on earth. I won't think my girlfriend's more important than every girl on earth. I won't be an idiot and think because I personally care about something in some disproportionate manner, that's being rational, when that's being exactly the opposite of rational. You're not judging things based on the properties they have, you're judging them based on the properties you impose on them. For fuck's sake, you can't figure that out? Life is not a projection. You know, you're not making reality, you shithead. You're supposed to be sitting there fucking discovering it. Okay? You're supposed to be sitting there accurately describing it. Not sitting there saying, I'll project my own image on everything. It's the Paul Show. That's what reality is. It's the Paul Show. So you really are Paul's fucking ego. You have your little story about Paul's ego, but it fucking fits because apparently you have some kind of ginormous ego and think you're making the universe. Asshole.
Because, you know, I've met a lot of non-believers, as you call them, in my life. And, you know, no rapists, no murderers.
Lots of animal crueltyers, though. Probably lots of, like, people who waste money on sports iconography, do lots of wasteful things in the world, squandering the value of the monetary system. You know, lots of Chinamen go starving because of the silly, trivial things they waste their resources on. No doubt. No rapist. What about wife beaters? What about, you know, pedophiles? I mean, yes, I think there's a lot you've met lately in that category, correct? I mean, you know, just by facts, I can make that inference that you're clearly you're associating with more now than you were 5 years ago, let's say. Clearly.
No thieves. Well, I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay, no thieves. No, TJ's not a thief. I mean, it really wasn't being a thief when he promised to do 14 different things that he never did and solicited money for. That wasn't being a thief. That was just being a good businessman, right? I mean, geez. I mean, I don't care. I mean, yes, TJ has the right to be a liar, but I mean, you can't even think that might be in the category of thief, for fuck's sake. That there's not, you know, dishonesty doesn't have something to do with thieving. I mean, dishonesty that produces money for you. Fuck. I mean, that's just, oh, you know. I mean, that's just a silly made-up story, Paul.
I've never met an atheist thief.
Oh, it's amazing, amazing. I say amazing. Amazing that he's never met an atheist who shoplifts, or he's never met an atheist who, well, again, there's no point in even describing it because the entire production of the TJ show has done nothing but involve thieving.
But you get my drift, Brett. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get your drift. You're just evading the question. I mean, the question was, can people without religion derive some source of ethics and decency? And you've basically just said, not really. They are afraid to go to jail, yes. So if you make something illegal, they will try not to do it. But the truth is they're going to try to do whatever they can get away with, and everything that's just a little bit legal. I mean, clearly, I think if we liberated the laws, TJ would be even more of a menace. So, but just pretend otherwise, Paul. Yeah, go ahead. You know, tell yourself a story.
Oh shit. Speaking of an atheist thief, there went my vape. Oh, shit.
I really don't get where that came from. That little... It's like SpongeBob or something, except it's not funny. It's scary.
Anyway, you get my drift, Brett.
No. Yeah,
right,
yes, Brett might, but, you know, nobody who's really doing this life thing seriously does, because, yeah, they realize, well, that was just a bunch of evasion and rationalization and nonsense and didn't have anything to do with the question. And obviously the Christians win. Another atheist who basically says, no, I'll pretty much be a user and an abuser if you get rid of those law things. I don't have any internal problem with doing exactly what I want. So, yeah, if you make being a pedophile legal or something, yeah, I'll do it. I mean, there won't be anything inside of me that'll stop me, you know, because I'm selfish and think I should have exactly what I want. And there's no consequences in the world because you're all just projection screen. You're just little images on a screen. You know, you don't add up to anything. There's nothing. You're not consequential. Alright, so anyway, there is one other clip where he does the typical thing where he because we have no function in the universe, he annihilates the fact that our lives and our experiences have great value. So it's one of those things where, yeah, because humans are going nowhere and because they're going to be exterminated by the universe, and because they're just kind of pretentious, and you can see that much anyway, that the whole thing is inconsequential in some way, and it's just another, in my opinion, it's just one of these things, another way of just trying to pretend this story isn't as bad as it really is, and that the harm caused in these little places called the present, these small moments called the now-ish, you know, our lives. Those crimes can't add up to anything because if the crimes of the past are so huge and the crimes of the future will be so huge that, no, this little crimes that I'm committing are just so incidental and irrelevant. So it's another one of those warping of the screen to make the image look like what they want. You know, which is Brett Keene's ass to lick or something. So anyway. As expected, it was a disappointment. I mean, I didn't figure this was going to be, oh yeah, Paul at his best. You could sort of read the writing on the wall, you know, and he did do this whole, I'm going to be one of these beard men. You know, and I just, you know, it just seemed like they're just giving up, you know, trying to be a human. And they're just going to go back to being animals, and kind of the scurviest of the human animal. You know, I mean, men are pretty ugly anyway, but, you know, give them these, you know, hairy faces, and they really get pretty, ew. I certainly wouldn't fuck that. So, anyway, shit, disappointing. But, like I said, I wasn't really expecting otherwise. They're all reverting into children. You know, fat kids, just stupid fat kids. It always was that way, right? When in school, even the smart fat kids were stupid. You know, I mean, stupid in the sense they were like completely dysfunctional in real life circumstances. It's like, you know, their mothers dressed them and stuff. They just had no clue how to live. So even if they knew a few things like historic dates and stuff and were smart and wore glasses, with glasses, the fit on my head, and you know, but if you gave them like a hammer, they couldn't hammer a nail into a piece of wood. I mean, fuck. And the other fat kids were just donuts. Donut. I want a donut. Yeah. No, there was only two kinds. Really stupid and really inept. And no. That's what all these people are becoming. So anyway, enough of that, though. Does irrelevant, sort of. I mean, it is an evidence of something, but it's just not strong evidence. So there's no point in profiling. Never mind. Just forget that I profiled. Totally useless. Kind of like Fake Sagan. He did this stupid Jew video. I couldn't even watch it because he spent the first half of the video, he just doesn't say a damn thing on the subject. He just keeps talking about how this is a really important subject. I'm really going to talk. I'm really going to say something. And you're really going to be so fucking, and I'm going to get. And he spends 20 minutes doing that. It's like, I'm done. Fuck this. If you had something to say, you would have said it by now, fucker. You're just going to talk about how you have such an interesting opinion, and there's not going to be any interesting opinion here. You're just telling me your opinion that you have an interesting opinion. But there's not going to be any actual opinion that means anything. You're not going to say anything that matters. But the whole thing of profiling people based on this crap is just so stupid. You know, people who live in this, I'm Irish, I'm this, fuck you. I mean, who cares? I don't know how you people can live for that slop. But you know, whatever. I'm blue-eyed. I should just walk around going, I'm blue-eyed. I'm blue-eyed. I'm blue-eyed. I'm a new modern human. Yeah, blue eyes only been around for 10,000 years. Modern human. You're all archaic, stupid humans. I'm the new modern version. Yeah. We're gonna get all you fuckers. Hey, might be an idea. A cult of blue-eyed people. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it'll be like the movies and stuff, like Dune. Yeah. Okay, I'll work on that.